Hey, today we are focusing on operations of fractions. What does this mean? The addition, subtraction, multiplication, division are all different kinds of actions or operations performed to produce a result. First, let's get to know about addition performed on fractions. While adding fractions, one thing should be kept in mind. Are you adding like fractions or unlike fractions? When you add two like fractions, meaning two fractions with same denominator, then it's simple. You can simply add it like you would do to whole numbers. Meaning if 2 by 3 and 7 by 3 are two like fractions, you have to add the numerators while taking out the common denominator. That is 2 by 3 plus 7 by 3 is equal to 9 by 3. We have added 2 and 7 and taken 1 by 3 common. So 9 multiplied by 1 by 3 is equal to 9 by 3, or you can simplify it to 3 by 1 or 3. Subtraction takes place in the same manner for like fraction. Adding and subtracting unlike fractions is different though. Suppose we have to add 5 by 7 and 3 by 4. Both have different denominators. Now, how do you add them? You cannot take the common out. Well, actually, you can. You cannot directly take that out, but there is a method through which you can. It's called LCM, least common multiple. Because look, if you are unable to have the same denominators for each of these fractions, then how would you possibly add or subtract them? Without this, the sum wouldn't make sense. The denominator doesn't change because the size of the parts remains constant. You're just counting how many parts you now have. So, for adding or subtracting unlike fractions, take the LCM of both denominators, and after getting the common denominators, you will be able to add or subtract the unlike fractions, just as same as you did with like fractions. Key here is to find the common denominators so that you now have the equally divided pieces. Multiplying fractions is straightforward. You multiply the numerators, top numbers, together, and the denominators, bottom numbers, together. There can be two ways actually. Either you multiply the fractions simply as it is, or first you simplify them and then multiply. Like this example here. We have to multiply 3 by 4 to 2 by 6. When you multiply fractions, you're finding a part of a part, which often results in a smaller value. Dividing. Dividing the fractions also requires multiplication later on. Dividing fractions involve flipping the second fraction, that is taking its reciprocal, and then multiplying. Like this example here. 3 by 4 divided by 2 by 5. Flip it and multiply. That is, flip the second fraction and multiply. 3 by 4 into 5 by 2. Multiply numerators now and then multiply denominators separately. The result would be 15 by 8. That's it. Easy and straightforward. Now if you want and the result can be simplified further, you can do that as well to get the simplest form of the result. That's the operations on fraction we were doing. Until I come up with a new explanatory recording, adios.